r/NoSleep. Posted by u/horror, junkie123. I'm a mall security guard. A trespasser broke my only rule, don't disturb the mannequins. Alright, that should just about sum it up. You got it from here? Yep. Not my first all-nighter, I said, raising my coffee mug. Great. Keenan will be here to relieve you in the morning. Call me if you need anything. I flashed Mike a thumbs up as he turned to leave. Oh, and Jeremy, he paused, his back still facing me, whatever you do not disturb the mannequins. I couldn't explain why, but a shiver rippled through me as soon as the words left his lips. What the hell was that supposed to mean? Okay. Got it. Good. Best of luck to ya, kid. He whistled to himself as he departed, the noise growing more distant as he sauntered down the hall. And then, I was alone. Left to my own devices for a whole 8 hours. I leaned back in my swivel chair, surveying the monitors one last time before pulling out my phone and opening Reddit. Get paid to listen to music and read scary stories all night? Count me in. I mean, nothing happens in an empty mall after closing, right? Wrong. As I plopped down in my seat, third cup of Maxwell House in hand, I caught movement out of my periphery. I groaned. Of course, my first night on my own and some stupid teenagers had probably broken in. Well, I was right. Camera 5 showed 2 teen boys and a girl, dressed from head to toe in black, creeping down the empty hallways. I scoffed. What were they even looking for? All the stores were locked up tight. I leapt to my feet. I knew their exact location. I could cut them off if I was quick enough. I bolted down the desolate corridors past rows upon rows of vacant brick-and-mortar outlets. A chill undulated through me as I ran. The place looked different at night. It felt like I shouldn't be there. Like something sinister lurked around every corner, between every nook and cranny, waiting for the perfect opportunity to pounce. I attempted to steady my breathing as I reached the staircase. There they were. If those little thugs thought they could get past me, they had another thing coming. I tiptoed behind them, quiet as a church mouse, accidentally eavesdropping on their conversation. Hey, I might not be the most upstanding guy out there, but I don't meddle if I don't have to. How much further, Marcus? This place gives me the creeps, the girl said, her eyes darting anxiously from side to side. Should just be up here on the right, the shortest of the boys responded. Cool. Everyone remember the plan? Marcus and the girl nodded. Okay. Let's just go over it again. To be sure we have it right, you know? Nate, you forgot it, didn't you? You've always had a horrible memory, the girl teased, earning her a spiteful glare. Oh, shut up, Lainey. You're only here because Marcus has a crush on you. Even in the dim moonlight, I could see that both of their cheeks were blossoming with color. It filled my heart with a strange sort of nostalgia. And honestly, it almost made me forget why I was there. Almost. That's not true, okay? Just tell me what you think the plan is already, Marcus huffed, staring at his feet. Fine. But just for the record, I know you're lying. So, you two lovebirds go to Dillard's to find your brother, while I run this way and set off an alarm to distract that dumbass security guard. Then. Hey, who are you calling a dumbass? I clasped Nate and Marcus by the shoulders and spun them around. The terrified expressions painted on their faces sent a smug grin inching across my lips. Suddenly, white-hot pain streaked through my cheek. I was seeing stars. One of those little shits had sucker punched me. Without a word, they darted away, leaving me rubbing my throbbing face. I quickly regained my composure and shot after them. I didn't know what I was going to do when I caught up to those three, but I did know that they were never going to set foot in that mall again if I had anything to do with it. We all sprinted like Olympic athletes. I was fueled by rage. As for them, fear. I was rapidly gaining on them. 10 feet, 8 feet, 6 feet. I was almost able to reach out and grab them. Then, we came to an intersection. Without hesitation, Nate and Lainey took a left, while Marcus swerved right. I had a split-second decision to make. Ultimately, I reached the conclusion that 2 was better than 1, and I hung a left. I smirked to myself as I again began to close the gap. I knew that hallway. It led to a dead end. Give up now, you assholes. I'm feeling generous. If you throw in the towel, I'll let you walk out of here scot-free. It was an obvious lie, but I had to try something. The quicker I got them out of there, the better. They didn't respond. In fact, I think they managed to pick up the pace. But they wouldn't be able to hold out forever. And they knew it. Nate and Laney glanced at each other knowingly as the three of us skidded to a halt. And again, they split up, trying to zip past me. For the second time that night, I had a choice. "Tricky little bastards," I muttered, opting to go after Nate. I cut him off, grabbing his arm. "Gotcha. You're coming with me," I said, dragging him by the collar. "Ow, you don't have to be so rough," I chuckled wryly. "Don't have to be so rough, huh? I wish you fuckers had been thinking that when you gave me this," I snarled, pointing to the dark purple bruise blossoming on my cheek. "Okay, point taken. Just loosen up a little bit, alright?" I reluctantly obliged, still maintaining a firm grip on his shirt. I paused, looking him in the eye. "Alright, kid. I know you're just some stupid teenagers who got in way over their heads. I'll consider leaving the police out of this if you take me to your friends. Deal?" A spark of fear flashed across his pupils. He mulled it over, before begrudgingly meeting my gaze. "Fine. I didn't want to come here anyway. We need to go to the food court first." As we came into view of the dining area, I couldn't help but shiver. Everything looked so barren at night. Whereas in the day the food court would have been bustling with customers, it was now eerily quiet. Nate led us straight to Panda Express. The sign loomed ominously above us, casting an unsettlingly dark shadow on the tiled flooring below. "Why are we here? Hate to break it to ya, but there's no one on duty to cook your orange chicken and lo mein." Nate scowled at me before calling out into the darkness. "Laney, you can come out now." A pair of blue eyes peeked up at us before hurriedly ducking back behind the counter. "Not with him out there." "Laney, it's okay. He said he won't call the cops on us. We'll be fine." She timidly rose, blonde curls bouncing atop her shoulders. "Are you sure?" A twinge of annoyance percolated Nate's features. "Come on, you know I'm not a liar. Just get out here." Laney hesitantly shuffled over to us, staring at the ground. "Fine. Let's get Marcus and go home. I don't like this place." "Lead the way," I said, extending a hand. They shot me a collective glare before obeying. We walked in silence past vacant stands and shops. I couldn't bring myself to look inside the windows. I glanced down at Nate. I'd forgotten that I still had an iron grip on his collar. "If I let go of you, are you going to run?" "No. We're already caught. What's the point?" I released him and he adjusted his shirt. I stuffed my hands in my pockets, and slowly mustered up the courage to ask the question that had been burning away at my conscience since I'd first encountered the trio. "So, why did you three come here? I can tell that you're not bad kids. You're here for a reason." The pair shot each other a stern glance. Laney nodded. Nate sighed, then spoke. "Marcus has a brother who used to work here. He went missing a few months ago. They say he stayed too late one night. That they got him. There's rumors about this place, you know. About the Mannequins." He shivered before continuing. "Well, Marcus's brother, Max, had obviously heard them. He was skeptical, so he decided to find out firsthand if they were true. They say that the Mannequins come to life after midnight. That if you get unlucky enough to come face to face with them when they do, they'll claim you as one of their own." My heart pounded against my ribcage like a jackhammer. If Nate was spinning a story, he sure was doing a good job. "So what? You think your friend's brother is a mannequin? That's just about the most insane thing I've ever heard." "Look, I didn't say that I believe it, okay? Marcus dragged us here so he could try to talk to his brother again. Well, he dragged me here. She came on her own." Nate smirked. Laney blushed, twirling a blonde lock of hair between her fingers. I did not." "You did too. You butted into our conversation at school the other day. I know you just wanted some alone time with Marcus because you like him," Nate said, making a smoochy face. "That's enough, you two. This is it, right?" The three of us stood there, gaping at the faded Dillard's sign overhead. A sense of trepidation crawled up my spine. I never thought I'd see the day where I was so apprehensive to walk into a clothing store, but there I was. My gaze shifted to the metal gate closing off the shop from the rest of the outlet. It was cracked open. "How'd he get in there?" I muttered. Something told me that I shouldn't speak too loudly. "The key was with Max's stuff. They gave it to Marcus's family." I nodded. That checked out. "Well, I guess you two should wait out." A deafening shriek emanated from the bowels of the darkness before me, sending fear coursing through my veins like venom. "Stay here." I didn't have to tell them twice. I squeezed through the gap in the fencing, sweat pooling above my brow. I don't know what I expected to find, but it definitely wasn't that. I darted between clothing racks, desperately searching for the source of the terrified wail. It didn't take me long to find it. I froze, struggling to make sense of what I was seeing. Marcus was being dragged along the floor by an army of stark white figures. The mannequins were moving, all by themselves. Their limbs creaked as they walked, those emotionless, polystyrene faces sending my heart into overdrive. No. This couldn't be real. But it was. And I had to do something. Please. I know you're still in there. Don't do this. I love you, Max. Please. Marcus's shrill cry shattered my heart. He only wanted to see his brother again. And unfortunately for him, his wish came true. They didn't react. I squinted, tracing their trajectory. They were taking Marcus to the storage room. I had to stop them. Hey! Put him down, you freaks. I cringed at how brittle the words came out. Their heads whipped toward me. Two of them were cocked to the side like curious dogs. They were studying me. Sizing me up. Marcus's eyes shimmered with hope. I'm warning you. Put him down, I shouted, brandishing my flashlight. I was seriously regretting leaving my personal taser at home. They stared at me blankly for a tense moment before the lead mannequin pointed a plastic finger at me. I was paralyzed with fear as two of the monstrosities charged toward me at an inhuman speed. I failed to will my legs to move in time. The pair crashed into me, sending us sprawling to the floor. No. Leave him alone, Marcus yelled, to no avail. The mannequins wrapped their rigid fingers around my arms, effectively immobilizing me. I thrashed and flailed, but they were ridiculously strong. They effortlessly picked me up, carrying me to the entrance. I was forced to watch as Marcus and I grew further and further apart, his panicked whimpers fading into the distance. I suddenly found myself sitting outside of the store, staring up at the ghostly white figures lurking among the inky black. One of the mannequins slammed the gate shut. My heart plummeted into my stomach as I heard the lock click into place. Without a word, they disappeared back into the depths of the shop. Nate rushed over to me grabbing a fistful of my shirt. What happened, man? Where's Marcus? Tears began to blur my vision. I'd failed him. He's gone. Lainey spoke up, startling me. No. There has to be something we can do. I mean, maybe we could call the police. Or, I don't know, anything. We can't just leave him here, she cried, unable to contain her tears any longer. Nate let me go, placing a hand on her shoulder. She's right. There's got to be something we can do, he said with fire brimming in his piercing green irises. I solemnly shook my head. No. You saw those things. I promise you, I will do everything in my power to get your friend back. In the meantime, I need you two to leave. Go home. No. We. Look at me, I said, locking eyes with Nate. The best thing that you can do to help Marcus right now is to get yourselves out of here. I'll do what I can. Okay? He averted his gaze, staring holes into his feet. Okay. We're depending on you. All of us. Let's go, Lainey. But Lainey, he said, his cold visage silencing her. Fine. But we will be back, she said, wiping her wet cheeks. I sighed, pulling out my phone as the teens dejectedly shuffled away. Hey, Mike? Yeah, it's Jeremy. What's wrong, kid? Didn't expect to hear from you so soon. Mike, there's been an incident. Some teenagers snuck in on the mannequins. They took one. Shit. Okay, I'll tell Keenan that I'm taking his shift tomorrow. Lock yourself in the office. I don't think I need to tell you this, but do not come out until morning. Got it? Yeah. See you soon. I spent the remainder of my shift on pins and needles, meticulously scanning the cameras. Every so often I could see a flash of white streak across one of the store windows. Morning couldn't come soon enough. Mike trudged through the door an hour before opening. He stoically met my gaze, before turning around. Come on. I led him back to Dillard's in silence. Golden sunlight glinted off the metal as Mike unlocked the gate. How many were there? 5. Dread seeped into my bones as we passed several of the motionless statues. Now that I really had a chance to drink in their features, the mannequins looked strangely detailed. A slender man with long, wavy hair. A portly woman with an afro. A muscular, hulking figure with bulging veins. I've counted 5 so far, Mike said as we continued on. Me too. As we made our way to the back of the store, my breath caught in my throat. There stood a small white mannequin. Its mouth was open in a permanent scream and its frozen fingers clawed at its cheeks. If you're reading this, stay far away from the mall at night. Because if you're not careful, you just might add another mannequin to its collection.